Okay, so it's Friday, and here we are. It's time for got a little blood on my arm. It's it's the day that we're going to launch the shares. We'll be announcing today at 3 o'clock the shares, what that entails, all of that information as a Facebook Live. So stay tuned. But I'm just taking a little assessment here on Friday, and again, I'll show you how we finished up the Kugel mound. Let's see all of the things that we have here. In this bed, we've got some beans that are growing and some cucumbers. We have okra planted all over. I used it like buckwheat as a kind of a cover crop. This is a big bed here of my peppers. Let me see if I can get under here out of the sun. You can see peppers starting to bloom. We've got some growing back in there. I don't know if you can see them, but the bell peppers, and we've also got cucumbers. This is a squash. I believe this is acorn squash here, and then we have spaghetti squash already producing here. We've got a couple of these that will be ready to harvest shortly. I believe these two over here may be ready to harvest shortly, but we've got more coming in. And then this bed is for asparagus next year. They won't be until next spring, but we've got it overplanted in buckwheat. Got some nasturtium coming up in there, and this is the biggie though. Here's the sweet potato bed. We're gonna have tons of sweet potatoes. They're really big, really sweet, good flavor. Really excited about that. And let's go over here to the tomato side. So over here on the tomato side, we've got in this guild here, this is our apple guild. We've got 2 apple trees here that, again, we'll be trellising them together, and we'll be producing apples probably next year. We've got several pumpkin plants in here. There's at least 5 of them that are growing. There's another one I'll clear out over there. Tomatoes, they've started forming. Look at those beauties there. So they'll be ready shortly. I've got other peppers in here, and then we've also got a hazelnut trees here. This right here is raspberry, so we'll have raspberries along the fence line back there. We've got cucumbers and watermelons planted on the other side, and throughout we have other plants. I kind of like with my seeds, I do I just let them volunteer. You know, of course I try to do companion plants, so I'll try to put anything like the nightshades in with something they shouldn't be, but otherwise things like okra, buckwheat, of course, any of the medicinal flowers, the cone flowers. You'll notice around in here I've got marigolds in here, okra in here, and nasturtium in here as well. And also there is that is a volunteer back there. It's going to be some kind of gourd plant, I'm pretty sure, from the look of the leaves. And now let's go to the front yard. So here we are in the front yard, and we've got the strawberry and blueberry guild set up around here, and this is the box of strawberries in the ground that we picked up from yesterday, and we're just going to let those go as they will, and grow and fill up this whole thing with strawberries. In fact, I may go get some more, but this is going to be a strawberry guild here that's already producing, and some of the other plants I showed you in a video yesterday. I just picked one of the fresh strawberries from that plant. And here's this is what I call the olive. We've got olive trees here. There's also an olive tree in the middle and an olive tree on the end. And again, I'll trellis those. Eventually we'll be able to, probably 2 to 3 years now, before we get olives. Maybe 2 years, maybe next spring we may be able to get some. But you see my squash plants are already, lots of blooms. I've got some fruit forming back there. See that little node Let's see, let's move this. That little node back there, that's a fruit forming. So we're gonna have lots of squash coming up in a couple of weeks. My beans, pole beans are blossoming as well, so they'll have lots of those. We'll see how the corn does. As I said, I've never really been successful with corn. Maybe it's because I have a prejudice against the corn. But and then we've got these 3 beds here, 4 beds here, 5 beds here that are in various stages of growth. Mostly, again, these are kind of 3 sisters beds. We've got sunflowers, which are edible, all parts growing up in there. We'll have some form of beans, a bush bean or a pole bean in each of those, and one of the squashes, either a butternut, acorn, or I don't know if I have any more spaghetti squash out here, but I know buttercup and butternut and acorn. And so we'll move over here, and now this is where we're going to have a plum guild here. This plum tree here will be connected with this plum tree here. I'll put another plum tree or 2 in the middle from my cuttings, and we'll have a plum espalier, a wall there. We've got sunflowers in here, different beans. This is kind of a let's get this thing started row over here, and then my even more let's get things started back here where we've got amaranth and radishes, and I'm getting some tree collards, and I'll be planting tree collards in here as well. Tree collards are they're collards. They're in the Bracteus family. I'd never heard of them before, but looking up online, they're actually a staple of sustainable permaculture because they're a perennial collard. So you don't have to keep planting them every year. Plus, growing on trees, it keeps me from having to bend over. We harvested our turnips, our small patch of turnips, yesterday. I've got those in the refrigerator to process those today. Those turnips, they're the globe turnips with the purple tops, and they have just been so sweet. And so now I'll finish up with the kugel bed. This is kugel bed part 2 is the total of this. So we're turning, and so we planted it in. It's not much to show here. Well, what I've done is in each of these areas, I'll have 4 corn plants. In the center, I've put zucchini in the center, again, as part of the 3 sisters. And then black-eyed peas are actually a big, giant black-eyed peas that'll be throughout here. And so I've got a row of sections of 4s all through here. And then I've got section of 4s through here. And then I've got a row of corn and beans planted in here. I'll come back in and add post this afternoon. Hopefully I'll be able to get by and get the horse manure and get the compost, and so we'll get that done this afternoon. But that's it. We've got lots going on. We've got strawberries, we'll have blueberries, squash, 3 or 4 different kinds of squash, pumpkins, 4 or 5 different kinds of beans, tomatoes, peppers, medicinal herbs. We'll be having, we've got blackberries growing in as well. Watermelon and cantaloupe are coming in. I've also got some citrus trees planted in some containers. We'll see how they do. I've got another row of sweet potatoes down there too. Sweet potatoes are a really big thing because it's a big, a lot of calories in it. So anyway, we're ready. We'll start. We'll come this afternoon, 3 o'clock. I'll do a Facebook Live, let you know what the shares are, what they consist of, how you can get involved with Buckwheat Farms, how you can get involved in the CSA, the Community Supported Agriculture, how you can get involved with getting vegetables delivered to your door bi-weekly, and we'll or pick them up, whichever way you want to do it. But we'll get that started this afternoon, and we're really excited. There's other things that are going on as well that we'll offer, but this is the big jump. So anyway, look for that at 3 o'clock. Namaste.